So, good evening, one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this third webinar of the day on this mini education day 2 of 2022. So, I hope the previous two webinars have been somewhat beneficial for you in terms of practice management. Now we are all together on a totally different topic, totally different tangent. And I hope all of these sessions are going to help you in the long term in your life. So let me share my screen and then we can begin. So if you can see my screen, hear my voice, type LC in the chat box, please. In the meanwhile, I'll check it online. Yep. LC, thank you. Loud and clear. LC stands for loud and clear. Thank you so much. So friends, today's webinar, third webinar of the day, is about the ITR filing mistakes. This was a topic suggested to me by my dear friend Dr. Raghu Ganesh. He suggested that the ITR season is on. Still, some of the people have not filed the ITR. So let's proceed ahead with this session only. I said, okay, fine, we'll go ahead. So yes, many of you, or rather majority of you, I believe, unless your return is audited, you have filed your ITR. But those of you who have not, or maybe those who have filed in a wrong way, they should be knowing about the certain mistakes that many of you may have done, which may lead you to file you can say a revised ITR, and the commonest mistakes which you should avoid if you have to file an audited. So let me just uh, give you a brief. If you have just to file an audit. Yep, it's live out there. So as usual, all my presentations will always begin with thanking Lord Almighty who's given me much more than what I deserve. And of course, the mini education day 2 is dedicated to my dad. It's because of his blessing that I'm able to impart financial knowledge to you. And otherwise also many life skills, many management skills also, they belong to him, whatever I have learned in my life. So thank you, Dad. Miss you always. You have been always an energy source for me. So this is my brief CV. You all are aware of it by now. Let's begin the session. So we are doing, this is the third webinar of the day, lessons from the recent ITR filing, correcting the mistakes. So like the morning two sessions, I don't have much slides. It is majorly about expansion of the points, and I'll be speaking extempore only on the topics, or on the, you can say, the slide topics which are there after the few initial ones. So tax filing mistakes we have to avoid, or we may have made. Income tax is a income tax return is a very sensitive document. Needs a lot of precision, needs a lot of focus, and of course needs a lot of guidance as well if you are not aware of the fact. Then it is a requirement that you always file before the due date, because even though you can file afterwards, you have so many things incurred on your ITR. The number one is the late payment charge, or the late penalty, which is 5,000 till 31st December. So those who could not file on 31st July will be filing from 1st August, which has passed, to 31st December at the penalty of 5,000 rupees. Then they pay a additional tax for one more month on the lesser amount paid for the year. Then there are chances that you may have missed out on certain installments of advance tax if you're filing different kinds of ITR. So it also can be levied in the form of 234A, 234B, 234C, and 234F. These are the various penalty or late payment clauses. You can read more about them after searching for them. So also there are chances that if you start doing things on the last day or just before the last day, you are bound to you make a lot of mistakes, and which is very much normal when you come across certain scenarios. And of course, when you erroneously file the returns, your processing of the return is delayed. Already the system is on a fast track. Two of the returns in my house, although they were complex returns this time, they were processed within 12 hours. I filed at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. in the night, and by morning 10 p.m. it was processed. Of course, one of them was 90,000 tax, one of them was zero tax, one of them had a refund. The refund one took about probably 4 days. One of the returns is still left to be processed, but yes, the processing phase has been very fast this time. Of course, if you make mistakes, you may be advised, you may be asked for certain documents or erroneous errors which you may have left in there. The department may tell you to file a revised return for that, or may ask you for a proof to that. So, of course, the process is now simple. It is a guided process. It is just, you can say, tell, show, do kind of a process for the ITR. Much better, much simpler than a manual way. But yes, there are chances that things could slip along the way. But then all the errors can be avoided if you have knowledge about all of them. So what are the commonest things? Income tax department, for our convenience, pre-fills certain details. If you rely on blindly on those, you may make a mistake. Especially pre-filled details are the previous year held accounts, bank accounts. Maybe you got a bank account closed in the previous financial year, not for the year which you are filing return. For example, this is 22-23 going on. We filed the returns for 21-22, means April 21 to March 22. We filed the returns for this period on 31st of July or before 31st of July. So if you close any account in March 2021, of course, you had to report that in the previous ITR, but you need not report that account because that account is closed. Anyways, your AIS and TIS will not carry the interest from that. Okay. Then salaried people, they hide details. COVID has been very, very unkind on salaried people. There have been a lot of layoffs. People have been forced to change employers, forced to change jobs. So what people have done, they have hidden details from previous employer. For example, they worked with a new employer for 8 months, but the 4 months of the year, April, May, June, July, for example, they worked with the previous employer. They have hidden those details. But yes, these days everything is available in AIS and TS, but if by chance those are not there, you have to mandatorily add it. Then any properties sold, any shares sold, any mutual fund sold, all those details, any crypto as an asset, all are to be added. I'll come to that, of course, even though there is nil tax. So you need to understand. Now, what exactly is ITR filing? बोलते हैं ना last date आ गई income tax filing की. What does that mean? So income tax filing is a 3-pronged process. You fill a return online. Earlier, I used to do a offline system where I could download a JSON file, do it, and then fill it, upload the same XML file. XML or JSON, both the formats are acceptable. But now, since many, you can say a couple of years, I've shifted to online system purely because you can side by side save your work. Based on your previous years, it gives you a set of questions, answer that correctly, and it automatically eliminates the schedules. There are a lot of schedules. Of course, ITR 1 and ITR 4. What are ITR 1 and ITR 4? I'll tell you. ITR 1 and ITR 4 have so many schedules in there. So very less schedules in there. ITR 2 and ITR 3 have more schedules in there. So it automatically eliminates those in ITR 2 and ITR 3. For example, there are business pertaining to business income. There are a lot of schedules in ITR 3. It automatically eliminates the same for a dentist, for a doctor. Ideally, you should be filing an ITR 4, a doctor, I mean. Any self-employed person should be filing ITR 4. But if you have to file ITR 3 because of your capital gains, I'll give you the summary of that also. Who needs to file which return? Don't worry. So you need to understand that those things come handy. Okay. So now this is a 3-pronged process. You file it online. It'll say at the last stage when it checks everything, it'll say e-pay tax now. Skip that. Choose the pay later option. Proceed to validation. It will tell you any mistakes committed over there. Once you correct those mistakes, it will tell you at which page, at which column, which all details need to be entered, which you might have missed. You can select that, correct the errors, and go back. Save it and go back. Again, go to the taxes paid and verification page. Now you can pay tax now. Once you pay tax, whatever amount has been made by them after all the calculations, it is an auto calculation. So whatever amount has been paid by them, pay it online, net banking, note the BSR code, note the challan number, and note the date. 3 things: BSR code, challan number, and date. Once you note these 3 things and you have that, retain the receipt, come back to your ITR once again. Go to the taxes paid page, enter those BSR code, amount, challan number, and date. Once you fill that, your automatically tax to be paid will be 0. But yes, that means you have to file it before 31st July. The moment रात के 12 बजे 1st August हुआ, if you miss that, 5,000 पड़ेगा और पेनल्टी और पड़ेगी, तो आपका सीधा से 7-8,000 टैक्स और पेबल बन जाएगा. So number 1 step, pay tax. Number 2nd step, now go to taxes paid verification where it shows, okay, proceed to filing of the return. Proceed. Again, it will validate. You are already done that or you already corrected that. Validate. It will tell you to submit and it will tell you that you can't go back and reverse it once you submit. Do okay if you are sure. Submit. The 3rd step is verification. 70% of people who file ITR still rely on a manual way, which is very, very surprising. When there are 6 or 7 ways when you can e-verify it there and then through your credit card account, through your DMAT account, through your net banking, through your other. The simplest way is Aadhaar EVC. Aadhaar EVC code, electronic verification code. You can do that through that. So once you do that, that is known as the complete filing of return. Pay tax, file return, verify return. ये तीनों स्टेप नहीं करेंगे तो आपकी टैक्स फाइल की ITR फाइल की मानी नहीं जाएगी. As simple as that. If you're going the manual way, you can send it to you can say for within 120 days to via speed post to CPC Bengaluru. I don't know why people want to do that, but yes, statistical data shows even till today high number of people do it. Anyways, let's come back to the topic. So let's see which are the mistakes to be avoided while filing ITR. Number 1, choosing the incorrect form. Before I go on to the mistakes, let me just give you a few more things. Let me go back because the mistakes are the 14 only. So I'll go first to this slide and then I'll come back to the mistakes. So who files ITR? 1. Any salaried person having one house, other sources of income less than 50 lakhs files ITR. If the income is less than 50 lakhs, but there are capital gains from property, from shares, from mutual funds, the gains may be tax exempt. 1 lakh tak capital gains are exempt, LTCG, not the short term. The long term capital gains are exempt up to 1 lakh. चाहे आपके 2000 1000 का gain है, you can't file ITR 1. Salaried बंदा, freelancer, कुछ भी, file ITR 2. Otherwise, अगर आपकी income 50 lakh से ऊपर है with capital gain or a partnership in the firm where you're deriving another income or a foreign income or agriculture income above 5,000, even then you file ITR 2. I hope this is self-explanatory. This all. Now this has been changed to 2 houses, I guess. In the previous ITR, in the previous budget 2020. In budget 2020 or 2021, it was changed to 2 houses now. Anyways, that's besides the point. So even with the less income, less than 50 lakhs income, if you have capital gains, you file ITR 2. चाहे 1,000 रुपए का gain है, चाहे 500 रुपए का gain है, चाहे tax exempt है. Taxable, non-taxable, if there are gains, you file ITR 2. Now, doctors, self-employed people, dentists like us, should prefer to file, who are self-employed clinicians, those who don't do any job. I mean, people do job in a hospital or you can say college in the morning and run clinic in the evening. Officially, unofficially, that is their choice. But officially, if they are running, they will be needing it. Of course, the income will be there. So preferably only clinic income, ITR 4. This is known as a presumptive taxation. Simplest ITR with 5-6 columns other than KYC. This used to be the simplest ITR 1, known as Sahaj. Now ITR 4 is the simplest. Now, again, a variation for this. It is allowed only up to 50 lakhs of gross income. The moment you touch 51, 50 point something also, you have to file ITR 3. Or you have to undergo audit. You can file ITR 3 in a presumptive way, still file ITR 3 in a presumptive way, but you have to undergo audit. Audit के situation में करना है वो last slides में दिखाऊंगा आप. So understand this. Then business and profession income and everything from ITR 2 means if you're salaried in the morning and clinic in the evening, you file ITR 3. As simple as that. There are gains with this, you file ITR 3. This is the most complex ITR. Unfortunately, I had to file it this time, ITR 3, because I had capital gains last year. All those were tax free, but still I had those gains, so I had to file ITR 3. So this is the in brief about the ITRs. So this is a checklist for that. I have divided it into 2 parts. Resident, just a minute, let me just move this screen here. Yeah. ITR resident individual, ITR 1, 2, 3, 4. Income up to 50 lakhs, anyone. Excess of 50, only ITR 2 and ITR 3. The moment your income crosses 50, ITR 4 and ITR 1 go out of the window. Salary and pension वालों को, salary वाले जो हैं वो ITR 1 और ITR 4 दोनों फाइल कर सकते हैं. This is the best thing about this. Then more than one house, ITR 2, ITR 3. Capital gains, ITR 2, ITR 3. ITR 2 is less complex than ITR 3, but still a little complex than ITR 1. So I hope this is a little bit clear to you in what aspects it is there. Okay, let me now go back to the mistakes part. The number 1 mistake is choosing the incorrect form. You may be a clinician with only clinic and income less than 50 lakhs. You would believe ITR 4 है, 5-6 column है, सबसे simplest return है. But if you have any kind of gains in the form of shares, mutual funds, or property sold, you have to choose ITR 3. Self-employed, dentists, clinicians only, no college income or any hospital income, ITR 3 with gains. If you have college income plus clinic plus gains, ITR 3. If you have college income plus clinic income but no gains, even then ITR 3. So ITR 4 is only for self-employed, ITR 3 is for dual income. ITR 1 and 2 are for salaried people. I hope that segregation is good enough. 1, 2 for salaried, 3, 4 for self-employed. Self-employed or dual mode. Dual mode means college income plus clinic income. Okay. Then if you choose a wrong form and your income is found to be reported in AIS, your return would be rejected and you will have to file a revised ITR. Even though you may have paid tax, but then all those calculations will go wrong. Then delaying filing of the returns till the last minute. Luckily, because of some reasons, we had a family function 2 weeks prior to the last week. Everything was ready because I don't file the returns in a rush. So I intentionally delayed it. I had been uploading everything because my wife, my brother, me, my mother all had capital gains. We sold off a few things last year. So all the returns were either ITR 2 or ITR 3. None of them was ITR 1 or 4. So I had been uploading them everyone, everything's in a sequence. Just wanted to cross check what all things are to be done. So luckily, last whole week I spent online on the income tax website, and it worked wonderfully well. There was no crash, a little bit slowing occasionally, but then the hours I chose to work were either early morning or late night. So at that point of time, I rarely encountered a minor problem once or twice. But otherwise, you can say the 4,200 crore rupees that Infosys has charged for maintaining that site has been worth it. Yes, there were a lot of glitches last year, but this year, the giving credit where it is due, this year it worked perfectly fine. And I used the server till Sunday morning. Then you have to be careful with pre-filled details. As I said, bank details can be, the bank account may have been closed. You may face a inquiry from income tax department, just a soft note that why has this bank's interest not been included? Because sometimes all interests are not there. Usually they won't, but you need to make sure that you need to cross-check all the pre-filled details also. Then neglecting to report all sources of income. Now, when we talk of all sources of income, not all sources would be reported in your AIS and TIS. It is still, I won't say in nascent stages. The AIS, TIS is now in infancy stages. It is still a toddler or an infant, you can say. It is still not a grown-up child. It will grow very soon. But the things which are missing are, it contains your shares sold, capital gains. It contains your shares bought. It contains your mutual funds sold. It contains your mutual funds bought. It contains your property details. If those are above 30 lakhs of sale, it includes all that. What is missing? It includes dividend income also. It includes your bank interest also. This time it is including post office saving bank account interest also. It is including your post office MIS or any other post office FD income also. Your normal bank FD income also. All those were included this time. What was missing? What was missing was your sovereign gold bond interest income, which you have to report yourself. Any redemption of your mutual fund or a big amount received, which is exempt under section 1010D. For example, a maturity of an endowment plan or a child plan, or you can say any endowment money back plan, the principle of that is exempt. Even any MIS, if you have matured, that capital must have entered for the salaried people, for the self-employed people, for whom you have to make a balance sheet. So that thing was missing. Even then you have to report that in schedule EI, exempt income schedule. You have to report this kind of principal interest received or amount received from MIS, from any endowment plan under 1010D. Then in schedule EI, you have to mention your PPF account interest as well under interest exempt income schedule. That is to be reported now. So all of them may not be taxable sources of income, but all of them are sources of income. Yes, certain times the department may overlook the schedule EI or exempt income and it may process your return without it also. If it does that, count yourself lucky. If not, then you have only yourself to blame. Okay. So sometimes, number 5, not all savings bank account interest is reflected. You have 5 bank accounts, only 3 of them interests are being reflected over there. Sometimes minor interest, you can say total of maybe 2,000, 3,000 rupees of interest might not be reported in the ASTS. It is your duty to report that, because it is not possible that you don't have a bank account. You have it. Anyone in India who's filing ITR will have a bank account, minimum 1 bank account. So it is not possible that you don't have it. So if you don't report an income just because it was not reported in your AIS and TIS, you are committing a mistake. Then mismatch of income tax deduction with Form 26AS and Form 16. This happened in my brother's case. He had TDS was not deducted, some amount of 35,000 or so, which was reported to be given to him in the month of May last year. He said, I have not received any such amount. We cross-checked all his Form 16 and every detail, 16A and every detail, and even the bank entries, nothing of that amount was found. So we disincluded that income. We did not count that income and filed the ITR as per our acumen and knowledge. If you are doing that, you have to deny the information, because this amount of 35,000 was reported in the AIS and TIS, and it was shown as an income on which he had to pay 30% tax, roughly 10,000 rupees or 9,500 or so. Or so sorry, more than 10,000 rupees only. So we negated that. We cross-checked with his employer. His employer, because before shifting to Air Force, he was working in Indian Army. He had an internal transfer over there. So his previous employer was in Pune. The current employer is in Delhi, Air Force unit. So earlier was an Army unit. So they said, we were supposed to pay you this amount, but we could not pay because we didn't have your account details. Those idiots did not pay, but they reported in the 26AS. They reported it in the AIS and TIS. If you find, if somebody of you watched my 30th June session, which was held on the mini education day 1, which was on the AIS and TIS, I've shown you 2 entries sometimes of the same amount. One of them is written inactive, the other entry is written active. If not, check it out today, your AIS and TIS. The inactive means it is the first reported amount, which may be erroneous. When it is cross-checked and re-uploaded, the same entry is marked. If it is correct, it is marked active, so that any errors can be seen. कि हाँ पहले गलत amount report हुआ था. After that, a different amount was reported. 99% of the time, both the amounts are same. So inactive means the first reported amount. Active means the later on final reported amount. So if there is any mismatch, cross-check that. बहुत बारी कई लोगों का पैन नंबर के हिसाब से एक डिजिट इधर उधर हो जाता है, तो रॉन्ग क्रेडिट टैक्स रिफंड आ जाता है, कुछ आ जाता है, तो you need to be wary of that part. Then I already mentioned, if you are hiding your income from your previous employer, you're committing a mistake. Then property sales details. If you are selling a property and buying a property, you need to adjust it against inflation indexation and report it in your ITR 2 or ITR 3. If you're salaried, you will report it in ITR 2. If you're self-employed, you will report it in ITR 3. If you have any of these things, capital gains, property sale, mutual fund sale, share sale, for self-employed, ITR 4 goes out of window. For salary, ITR 1 goes out of window. ITR 2 is a little complex than ITR 1, but less than ITR 3. Comparatively lesser schedules. Now, crypto declaration in this FY. Crypto gains were not taxable in 21-22. But if you bought crypto and by the time of ITR, you can say by the time of March, you may not have sold it, how will you declare? Will you show it as gains? Will you adjust this against any kind of business loss? Yes, it was possible in this ITR, because in next ITR, you cannot adjust crypto against any kinds of gains. There was confusion, there was not much of clarity, but crypto were counted as normal assets only, other assets only, and they were adjusted. Each asset profit and loss is, you can say, possible to be adjusted against each other in there. Then next financial, avoid adjusting losses from crypto. Somebody may be doing it. Next year, you can't do it. This is for next year, not for this year. This is for next year. Then one of the most commonest mistakes, failing to e-verify the ITR file. I told you it is a three-pronged process. Unless you e-verify or paper verify or whatever way you want to, unless you verify the return is not counted as filed. Similar to the banking system, one teller makes the entry and the officer passes it or seconds it, or you can say approves it. That is the way it is. Then many of you have income reported in your AIS and TIS, and still you chose not to file the ITR. If you have gross income above 2.5 lakh, even though it is tax exempt from any source, all sources combined, your total income is above 2.5 lakh, you have to file an ITR. You have to file an ITR, maybe a zero tax ITR. It is mandatory. Ask your CA, he'll tell you. Then providing incorrect information, especially pertaining to deductions. People don't report full amount. They will write 1.5 lakh in 80C, even though they might have done less. Write the exact amount. Most of you have endowment policies also. Most of you have other plans also which are under 80C, triple C. All these are counted under the subhead 80C only. Then you have this Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, 330 and 12 rupees, which is now increased now to 400 and you can say 20 rupees or something. It has increased, both of them have increased in volume, in the cost of the premium of insurance. So all those, for example, if your amount is 2,12,312, mention that in the column, against which you are allowed 1.5 lakh only, but mention the exact, especially for self-employed people. Self-employed, well, my dad used to say one thing, clinician हो, बैंक उस वक्त हम लोग books of account maintain करते थे because of ITR 4, because ITR 4 was not existent at that time. क्लिनिशियन हो, तुम्हारी एक एक पाई अकाउंटेबल है, एक एक रुपया जो तुम्हारे बैंक में अगर पेट वो आता है ना, कैशबैक भी आता है या कोई वेरिफिकेशन का कैम से आता है, वो एक एक रुपया भी अकाउंटेबल है. इट हैज टू बी मेंशन्ड इन द बैलेंस शीट. यू कांट इग्नोर दैट. Salaried guys are lucky in that aspect that don't have to make a balance sheet. They don't have to make a asset and liability account. So always provide correct information. Then many people choose to omit the details of capital gains. See, even if your CA used to file your ITR in the past, चाहे वो अंदाजे से फाइल करता था, अपनी मर्जी से फाइल करता था, what do the two things they ask for? They ask for your bank passbooks or statements, whatever. They need your form 26AS and your previous year's filed return. Both of these are available online, so they used to ask only for bank statements and bank passbooks, and they used to file it everything themselves. Okay. So this used to happen, but now you need a AIS also, TIS also, 26AIS also. You have to collate both the informations also, cross-check both things also with the pre-filled ones. Salaried have an additional burden of collating these two with their form 16A also. So their burden is a little bit increased in that regard. So if your AIS and TIS is mentioning that you sold off mutual funds, चाहे 20,000 के mutual fund थे, तो अब 22,000 में बेच दिए, 2,000 का गेन है, ये क्या दिखाना? That is reported. You still have to file a different ITR. Remember, your first mistake was choosing the incorrect ITR form. So आपकी पहली mistake वही हो गई अगर number 14 mistake you have committed. If you have committed number 14 mistake, it means your choice of form was wrong. So you have to file a different ITR now. Okay. So these were a few common mistakes which all of us need to be aware of, because unless we are aware of, we will continue to commit the same mistakes. So I hope this gives you a lot of clarity. ITR 1 and 2 belong to salaried. ITR 3 and 4 belong to self-employed clinicians. Those who have a dual job, morning hospital or college and evening clinic, ITR 3. Simple income less than 50 lakhs, salaried ITR 1, clinician ITR 4. More than 50 lakhs, audit in this case, and ITR 3 presumptive way. Still audit. उनकी लास्ट डेट 31 अक्टूबर है. I've showed you this already. Now, so which was on the ITD website. ITR 1 के criteria similarly. Resident other than not ordinarily resident. Income up to 50 lakhs, salary, one house property, other sources less than 5,000 or up to 5,000. ITR 2, if gains or losses along with job, gains or losses along with job, but no clinic. Why I wrote losses? People may not actually make money also, they may have losses also. If you need to offset that losses against your salary income, you need to file an ITR 2. कि मेरे को तो 20,000 इसमें लॉस हो गया, offset the loss against your income. This is what the government did when they said crypto losses, crypto is an illegal currency, it will not be allowed to offset against any of the things. You can offset your losses also. It is not only the gains you have to pay tax. Now ITR 3, if having a clinic in evening along with job in the morning in college or hospital. ITR 4, combined income less than 50 lakhs, salary, pension, house property, other sources, all that. You can file. The best advantage for self-employed people or clinicians like us is to file ITR 4. Why? It gives you a freedom from maintaining books of account. It gives you a freedom from having your own CA. You just need to make a balance sheet and file an ITR. And this is what I teach in finance workshop, making a balance sheet only. You need to still make a balance sheet. Many CAs have started omitting balance sheet also in ITR 4, which is wrong. Which is wrong. You can't omit that. How will you carry forward your depreciation in the next year if you want to come back? If you buy a heavy gadget in the next year, you say, I'll go the conventional way. I don't want to go the presumptive way. You have to come back. So remember, this is very important to maintain that. Okay. So the carry home gyan is in the form of very simplified things. If you're salaried, less than 50, you can file ITR 4 also. 4 में उन्होंने salary का column include कर दिया. Salary only less than 50 lakhs and no gains 1 or 4. Similar criteria, preferable mode is ITR 4. Why I say so? ITR 4 is even simpler than ITR 1. Okay. Now, if you're salaried 50 lakhs or even less than 50 lakhs, but have gains. So count this less than 50 lakhs also plus gains, either of the two, ITR 2. Okay. If you're having a dual thing, even you can say salaried plus clinic, but less than 50 lakhs. Go for ITR 3 or 4. Preferably an ITR 4. But the only condition is there should be no capital gains. No gains from shares or anything similar or mutual funds. So bottom line is, if salaried plus clinic greater than 50 lakhs, ITR 3. But ITR 3 has an advantage. You can still file it in a presumptive mode. Presumptive mode means you simply have 50% of your income presumed as expenses. In any case, our expenses are close to 45 to 55% range. Even 5 more, 5 less, I prefer to choose ITR 3. Oh, sorry, a presumptive mode. I can file either way. If I'm filing in presumptive, I get freedom from book of accounts, as I said, freedom from CA, freedom from any kind of complex ITRs. I get freedom from 4 installments of advance tax also. Even if I'm filing ITR 3 in a presumptive mode, I get freedom from advance tax 4 installments. I need to pay only 1 installment in March. The other guys, 1, 2, and 3 conventional way, they need to file 15 June, 15 September, 15 December, 15 March. 4 इंस्टॉलमेंट. एंड इफ दे मिस, किसी ने सोचा ना चलो कोई नहीं 15 जून को मिस हो गया, 16 जून को फाइल करते हैं, दैट विल बी काउंटेड इन सितंबर ओनली. वो 3 महीने का 3% ब्याज उनको पड़ गया ऑन द डिफरेंस अमाउंट, वट एवर दे हैव नॉट पेड ऑन दैट परसेंटेज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपका 10,000 ड्यू था, सॉरी 20,000 ड्यू था, आपने 10,000 पे किया एडवांस टैक्स, टोटल टैक्स बना मान लो 4 क्वार्टर्स का आपका 80,000 रुपए सारा मिला मिलू के. आपका 15% के हिसाब से उस वक्त ड्यू था, उसमें से 15,000 रुपए, सॉरी 80 का 15 इज 12,000 रुपीज. यू पेड 2,000 रुपीज, so you will pay the difference 10,000 ka 3% interest, also simple interest per month in the end result. Okay, so if clinic is greater than 50 lakhs or claiming higher expenses, means lower profit, चाहे आपकी रेंज 50 लाख है चाहे कम है, इवन 2.5 लाख से कम है, then you need to have an audited ITR. अदरवाइज 50 लाख से नीचे हो तो कोई ऑडिट जरूरत नहीं. आई गॉट अ कॉल फ्रॉम अ फ्रेंड ऑन 30th जुलाई सैटरडे नाइट. ही सेड मैंने तो चेक काट के रखे थे, मेरा सीए कह रहा है कि हम ना ऑडिट भरेंगे. आई न्यू ही हैड अ वेरी गुड फ्लरिशिंग प्रैक्टिस बीइंग एन इम्प्लांटोलॉजिस्ट. आई सेड व्हाट इज योर इनकम? ही सेड जो सीए को बताइए वो तो 44 है, वैसे 70 प्लस है. हाउ विल यू ऑफसेट दैट डिफरेंस ऑफ 25 लाख्स? वो कर लेंगे. मैं कहा कैसे करोगे, मेरे को भी बताओ. आई कैन ऑल्सो डू इट. नहीं वो हो जाएगा, हवा में बातें मत करो. मैं कहा ऑन 30th नाइट यू आर रिमेंबरिंग कि ऑडिट भरें या ITR 3 भरें. इट इज टू लेट. बेटर है कि इफ यू आर नॉट डन टिल नाउ, गो इन फॉर अ ऑडिटेड ITR विच विल गिव यू 3 months मोर. फाइल इट इन द ड्यू डेट ओनली एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. सो आई होप these things are clear to you, because ये बातें आपको कोई नहीं बताएगा in this format. This is all about work ethics. It is their choice. जैसे हम चाहते हैं ना कि रूट कनाल की डिटेल्स कोई ना बताए या हम ना बताएं, तो इसी तरह CAs भी अपने चीजें नहीं करते. I am a misfit in their community. Luckily, unluckily, whatever way, I am there. So some of you saw me talking on management, saw about taking on that, dealing with the patient in the morning twice. How, as a clinician, we need to, you can say, deal with certain cases. I am at this moment a CA now, at least who can deal with the, you can say, in with the taxation part. Some other day, I might be dealing with the investments part. I might be appearing as a CFA to you. Another days I'll be dealing with the consumer court cases, medical legal part. I may be appearing as a lawyer to you. But I am proud to be a dentist first, and given a choice in the second birth, even then I would like to be a dentist first. And that is the truth about it. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. And this is my WhatsApp community. Most of you are in there. But if you want to be added, I gave this option to my WhatsApp community members. If you want to add any of your family member, only in the finance group, you can get it done, where we discuss such things which are important for the fraternity, certain things which are not discussed anywhere. We have this format, and these are purely advertisement free, purely study based groups. So if you're interested, send me a message, I'll add you over there. So this is my YouTube channel. There are a lot of videos over there. More than 510 plus videos are there on the channel already, neatly segregated into medical legal, practice management, and finance. Short videos, long videos, segregated into that format. If you will any of those, just go to the playlist, select the video, and you can watch it. All these, this channel was started on 1st June 2020. So in about 2 years, a little more than 2 years, this is the hard work which we have done in the 2 lockdowns. So 500 plus is a huge number. Of course, some of them are SD and HD format, but still there are 300 plus videos. And even 300 is a big number for 2 years. So this was the platform that we launched today on the 79th birthday of my late dad, the PhD. Of course, the onboarding of the same will start on Monday, 15th August, the 75th Independence Day of India. This has been made to plug the handicaps of dentistry. The handicaps are like the DMF index, the decade misfilled index, documentation, the management and financial. And like my all digital footprints, the footprints are facebook.com/group/Dr. Bhavdeep. Of course, the onboarding will not start before Monday, but yes, I will officially properly send you a message in the group to board this platform on Facebook where we can engage in longer discussions and we can have better engagement and involvement of the members who are not willing to engage in WhatsApp communication over there. The communication and the text which will be shared here will be different from what I share in the WhatsApp community. A little bit of overlap might be there, but broadly 90-95% of the things which we will be dealing will be different. This is a platform which will involve all three: medical, legal, documentation, record keeping, consent, practice management, and finances. Only single platform. Unlike WhatsApp, where we have two groups separate. So thank you so much. Again, digital footprints are in the name of Dr. Bhavdeep. That is the standardized format which I have all over. So do send me your feedback in the WhatsApp group wherever you are, and I'll really appreciate if you found anything good, anything worthwhile. So bouquets and big bats both would be welcome in equal measure. So thank you once again, and I stop my share for questions from all of you. If there are, firstly, I'll be taking up from the chat. If there are, okay, let me just. Dr. Sabajati says processing and verification is two different things. Processing is done by income tax department. Our job is paying tax, filing ITR, verification. उसके बाद उनका काम रिटर्न प्रोसेस करना. रिटर्न प्रोसेस में अगर कोई एरर्स होंगी, they'll inform you on your email. Okay? I hope it is clear to you. Okay. Thank you. No problem, Dr. Mugda. Thank you, Dr. Aarti. Thank you, Dr. Manali. Thank you, Dr. Kusum. Thank you, Dr. Ramchandra sir. Thank you, Dr. Ankit. Thank you, Dr. Manish. Thank you, Dr. Bindu. Thank you, Dr. Sabyasachi. Thank you, Dr. Ajay. Thank you, Dr. Raghu. Section 115 is pertaining to 115A is pertaining to mutual fund sale, capital gain section. Let me just check online if there are any comments. Anyone having any more queries? So please feel free to ask. Thank you, Dr. Karan. Thank you, Dr. Bhavna. People hardly open up the group, I guess. A group participant was calling me up right now. So they don't open up the group, I guess. Dr. Pinto says, my CA is doing ITR 4. I have bought PSP worth 2.2 lakh this year. She's saying it cannot be considered as expenditure. PSP is what? If you may spell it for me, please. Let me just unmute. Oh, sorry. I forgot to unmute all of you. Yes, you can unmute yourself. Okay, PSP is the X-ray machine. Oh, sorry. Any gadget, anything, it is not an expense. It is a asset. It is an asset. So any asset, for example, you buy a dental chair. It is not your consumable. There is a difference between an asset and a consumable. A consumable means you open the bottle, use it, and it is done. But an asset lasts a few years. On an average, dental equipment, unless specified otherwise, on an average, dental equipments have been given a depreciation of 15%, roughly, meaning they are supposed to last to 6 to 7 years. So if you had if you bought a you can say asset worth 2 lakh, I'll just take the figure as 2 lakhs. And if you bought it before 3rd of October last year, then you will get 30,000 as a, you can say, expense over it, which is roughly 15% into 2 lakh. If you bought after 3rd of October, you will get 15,000. You will get half the depreciation for that. So even depreciation all the assets is counted as an expense. Depreciation is also known as a WDV, written down value, जिसको हिंदी पंजाबी में normally बोलते हैं घिसने की value. So that is there. Okay. I hope your query is clear. So ITR 4, if you are doing ITR 4, your all expenses, including depreciation, are already presumed to be 50%. You need to include that for making a balance sheet, but you can't take depreciation separately since government is already giving you 50% of expenses. If you earned 20 lakhs, for example, you already have a taxable income of 10 lakhs, 50% gone. Then minus your 80C, 80D, 80G, whatever you had, minus करके 6-7 लाख पे आप आ गए. On that income you pay tax. This is the confusion among people. Thank you, Dr. Zahra. Thank you, Dr. Praneeth. What do I do? You do nothing. ITR 4 means already expenses taken care of. How to show EI? EI is to be schedule, exempt income is to be added during the answering of the questions. You can have the permission to, you can say, file all the sequence of the schedules. You bought it this year in May. Luckily, you will, again, the point is, what do you want? You want to claim a depreciation and see the advantages. If you want to claim a depreciation, you will have to maintain all your bills. You will have to maintain all your expense sheets. You will have to maintain a day book. You have to maintain a cash book register. You have to maintain proper books of accounts. You have to take the help of a CA and file a ITR 3, income minus expenses. You may have 80%, you can say, profit, or you may have 70% profit, whatever you want to. Vis-a-vis plus vis-a-vis, simple ITR, 4-5 columns, 50% as expenses, no need to retain bills, no need to do anything, just the income source is to be maintained, and no headache over your head, no advance tax 4 installments. Choose your choice. What is your choice? I already said, even if you are 45 or 55, 50% is the benchmark. Even you have 5 more, 5 less, I will still choose ITR 4. It gives me so much less of headache. I filed ITR 3, but even that I filed in a presumptive mode. I had to file that because I had a lot of shares sold last year. So this was the reason I had to file ITR 3. Otherwise, I could have filed ITR 4 itself. Technically, if I ignore the shares, I filed ITR 4 only. ITR 3 in a presumptive mode is ITR 4 only in a way. Dr. Kusum asked, do we need to file professional tax for salaried doctors working under us? Any criteria? Yes, you have to file that. Minimum 2 employees, you have to deduct their baki. It depends upon your state government norms. What does the state government say? Ideally, an employer is supposed to deduct that and submit with the government. Dr. Raghu says, my balance sheet is not made for the past 5 years because my CA files it in a presumptive way. Even in a presumptive way, you still need to, Raghu, you have done the finance workshop, I guess. So you need to understand that balance sheet will still need to be made. You'll have a lot of problems later on otherwise. Dr. Sabyasachi says, in Form 16, it was mentioned my investment in 80D and 80CCD 1B, but not in pre-filled ITR. When I'm trying to input while filing, they are saying you are declaring more than declared. वो धमकी देता है फॉर्म. जब आपने फाइल किया तो आपको डरने का क्या है? That is the reason I told you, Sabyasachi, do this, learn this before you venture into this territory of filing your ITR yourself. Don't do it without any guidance, or don't do without any knowledge. It'll say you. वो धमकी तो देगा ही. मोर देन डिक्लेयर्ड इसमें क्या है? वो तो हम लोगों को भी देता है. हम लोगों के पास तो फॉर्म 16 नहीं है. हैव इट. आस्क फ्रॉम एनी सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड. उनको भी धमकी मिलेगी नहीं? यस. सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड को पता ही नहीं होगा क्योंकि उन्होंने खुद फाइल किए नहीं होगा ना. उनके सीए ने फाइल किया होगा. या सीए को पूछो या मेरे को पूछो. इट डज गिव दैट. सो व्हाट? when we are doing true declaration, we should not worry about that part. They just warn you because प्री फिल जो आपने शुरू में शेड्यूल फिल किए हैं उसमें आप नहीं एंटर करते हैं. कई बार एग्जैक्ट इनकम नहीं होती है. यू फाइल अंडर दैट हेड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. So Dr. Royden says, I understand that no advance needs to be paid for senior citizens. Does this apply to practicing doctors as well? No advance tax for senior citizens, irrespective of whichever return they file. Doctors are not senior citizens. Yes, if doctors are above 60, they are senior citizens. Otherwise, there is no exemption for doctors. There is no exemption for doctors. They need to pay advance tax. Does presumptive tax need to be done continuously for 5 years? CA says it can't be changed between. That applies to 44 AD, not to 44 ADA. Even that is 3 years. That is for the traders, not for the doctors. CAs का काम है misguide करना, हमारा काम है misguide होना. That is only applicable for 44 AD. Our 44 ADA presumptive section is an offshoot of 44 AD. For doctors, there is no binding that you have to be logged in presumptive. In any case, you have to be logged in presumptive. What is the harm? What is the harm? Unless you're making a big investment like CBCT or an OPG, which you want to claim a higher depreciation. In that case, I will still say, go with the presumptive mode and go for audit, rather than still doing the conventional way. Who will like to maintain books of accounts and maintain it for 6 years? Now it is down to 3 years, I guess. But who will need to do that? So don't worry about that part. Even if you can't change, you can change it. But even if you can't change, what is the harm? It is already the simplest ITR. What else do you need? The government has given you the liberty to do anything, not maintain any bills. Just make digital payments, just have a source of income. That's it. Thank you, Dr. Bimal. Dr. Ajay says, I filed through presumptive mode in ITR 4 for how long a period are the previous tax records and bank statements need to be maintained? 3 years. 3 years, which has been changed. Earlier it was 6 years, now it is 3 years. Okay. Dr. Raghu says, if I have accounts properly maintained and check if the expense is more than 50%, I should not opt for presumptive. If not, better to go with presumptive. I already said, Raghu, even if it is 45% or even if it is 55%, prefer a presumptive. You always can claim a higher profit. For example, you want to say, I don't have 50% profit, I have 60% profit. The government will not mind it. Because by declaring 60% profit and 40% expense, you're paying more tax to the government. But then you're increasing your white income also. So the government will not mind that. It only minds in case when you do the reverse. I have 40% profit and I have 60% income. Then you need to go in for the audit. Then you need to go in for the audit. Dikhao bill sare, check karao. So that is the reason I say 5% जेब से जाता है, let it go. Prefer that. It gives you so much peace of mind. Dr. Kusum says, for all salary doctors, we need to file professional tax or only after a certain limit of salary. It depends upon state to state. Most of the states have 200 rupees per month as the tax, which means 2400 per month. And you need to file for all your employees. All your employees. And of course, it is for employees with income above 2.5 lakhs. Income above 2.5 lakhs. Taxable income. Gross income. Okay. Senior citizens are exempt from professional tax also. If your employees are drawing salary less than 21,000, which means 2,52,000 per year, so that means you don't need to file them. Then it is their responsibility to do that. Okay. Any else queries, or we call it a day?
What is section 143(1)?
It is an intimation notice. Once your return is processed, it is an intimation notice. You file a return under 139(1). 143(1) is an intimation from Income Tax Department.
Which means that they have received your...
They give you, when they send you a love letter, they will always do it under 143(1).
Okay.
They send love letters to all of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to wait.
What? For what?
That 143(1) has come and nothing after that.
143(1), there would be a verification list attachment would be there in there inside. Check it through your online login of your PAN.
Okay.
Your return would be processed already. If 143(1) has come, it would be processed. Just to cross check, go under the section response to outstanding tax demand.
Okay. Okay.
Go and just cross check. If you find any no outstanding demand present, fair enough. And your return would be in the section e-file, view filed returns.
Okay.
If it shows us processed under this, you will have an intimation order where you say download your verification, download your ITR. You'll have a small line below that, download intimation order dated this date.
Okay.
Download that. That is your communication under 143.1.
Okay. ठीक है जी. Okay. I thought it was done.
If 143.1 has been received, 99% it would be the intimation order only.
Okay.
Many times it goes in the spam also. Many times it goes in the updates of the Gmail also. Or sometimes in the promotion folder also. It does not come always in the main inbox.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything more, or we call it a day? Okay, then exactly in an hour we are done. Thank you so much. And I hope this session was of some help to you. Please do post your feedback in the respective WhatsApp group wherever you are. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care. And I hope this mini day of education 2 was worthwhile. See you maybe some other time, some other platform very soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Shubh Ratri. Shabak hai.